No, you should rate it. Sure, man. Dragons. I am intrigued. Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about some friggin' books that Storygraph thinks I might like. I haven't done this in a hot minute, but yeah, Storygraph does like Storygraph recommendations. And you can go through and say like, no, I'm not interested in that, or that you are, and add it to your TBR, etc. And I just haven't done it in a hot minute. So I wanted to do that. I still have on my overall like ideas list to do more of my like Storygraph recommendations, like vlogs where I grab a couple of these books that Storygraph has recommended to me and I read them and determine are they correct or not. I did one of those videos like last year, maybe the year before. I don't know. I need to get on that. But at any rate, we'll go through the list today. Let me record. Okay, so here we are. Recommendations. Let's explore. And I'm going to... Yeah, you can always set up like your preferences or change your preferences here. And when you're looking at this, you can filter as you always can. I'm going to select down here, don't show me books that are already in my to read pile. I want to see new ones that I don't already have marked as to read. Let's see what they think I'm gonna like and why. This is historical fiction, The Bee and the Orange Tree. Let's check it out. 1699, Salons of Paris, creative energy of fierce, independent. Louis the, what is that? 14th? Is that what that is? I'm the worst at reading the Roman numerals. The Catholic Church are moving to curb their freedoms in this battle very well. Catherine d'Aulnay. Oh, fairy tale. Okay. I like the idea of this. Restores another remarkable, little-known woman to her rightful place in history. I love shit like that as a concept. Beautifully lyrical, deeply absorbing portrait of time. This actually sounds really fucking good. Okay, cool. So I always mark them with Storygraph Rex, and update that so that when I'm looking at my to be read pile in Storygraph, I know like, oh, that's where that came from. And then like for, if I do any more of those vlogs in the future, which I want to, mark it as to read. Cool. There's one. The Good Wife of Bath, a mostly true story, another historical. They're giving me all the historical right now, which I'm not mad at. Karen Brooks, a newer one from 2021. Middle Ages, a poet told the story that mocked a strong woman. It became a literary classic. But what if the woman in question had a chance to tell her own version? Who would you believe? Married off at age 12 to an elderly farmer, Eleanor Cornfed, who's constantly told to seek redemption for her many sins, realizes, blah, blah, God is not on her side, or any poor woman's for that matter. 5 marriages, several pilgrimages, many lovers, violence, mayhem, and wildly divergent fortunes do not for a peaceful life make. Okay, God, sibling Allison, counsel of one Geoffrey Chaucer, and a good head for business, fights to protect those she loves, yada, yada, yada. This funny, picaresque, clever telling of Chaucer's Wife of Bath from the Canterbury Tales is a cutting assessment of what happens when male power is left to run unchecked, as well as recasting of a literary classic that gives a maligned character her own voice and allows her to tell her own mostly true story. You know, could be fun. Let's do it. Let's add it. And then to read, cool. The Flames of Albion, fiction, fantasy, LGBTQIA+, mysterious, never heard of this. Century since the monarchy was overthrown, the country of Albion has become a haven for its citizens. The young scholar, Adaria, included, raised within the Albion University's walls, she has dedicated her life to the pursuit of knowledge. Preferring to hold in the library rather than seek adventure elsewhere, she's grown accustomed to her comfortable routine until the day everything changes. She unwittingly awakens a sleeping dragon's egg. Oh, there's dragon! I didn't even see that on the cover. Adaria is thrust into unfamiliar territory. Never having dreamed of dragons, she's forced to seek out guidance from the exhilarating Isla, last direct descendant of the royal family and companion to a century-old dragon. Oh my god, that sounds so fun. All right. Sure, man. Dragons. Okay. So far, so good. Child of Light by Terry Brooks. I don't think I'm interested in this one. Am I? I've like seen it around. Electrifying novel of an all-new fantasy series from the legendary author behind the Shannara saga. Oh, that was a show for a little bit, wasn't it? I watched like, I don't think I even watched the full first season. Maybe I did? I don't know. About a human girl struggling to find her place in a magical world she's never known. Trapped in prison. Why? She doesn't know. She has no memories of her past. All she knows is she's about to age out of the children's prison. And rumors say the adult version is far, far worse. She and some friends stage a desperate escape to the surrounding wastelands. Here's her journey. Da-da-da. Stranger who claims to be Fae. I don't know. I don't know why. That just doesn't sound that intriguing. So I'm going to exit out and click Don't Show Me This Book Again. Mrs. England by Stacey Halls. More historical. It is giving me all of the historical. The best-selling author of The Familiars and The Foundling. Most compelling and ambitious novel to date. West Yorkshire, 1904, when newly graduated nurse Ruby May takes a position looking after the children of Charles and Lillian England, a wealthy couple from a powerful dynasty of mill owners. She hopes it'll be the fresh start she needs, but as she adapts to life at the isolated Hardcastle house, hey, like Lady Hardcastle, it becomes clear there's something not quite right about the beautiful, mysterious Mrs. England. Simmering with slow burn menace, Mrs. England is a portrait of an Edwardian marriage, weaving an enthralling story of men and women, power and control, courage, truth, and the very darkest deception, set against the atmospheric landscape of West Yorkshire. Stacey Hall's third novel proves her one of the most exciting and compelling new storytellers of our times. I'm intrigued, but also am I? Very dark sounding. I don't know, sure. We'll try it. Maybe. Someday. You know, as if I'm ever going to get to all the books on my to-read. Are any of us? No. The Key in the Lock. Historical mystery. Oh my God, everything. More historical. This is killing me. I mean, I like historical, don't get me wrong. Oh, this is newer, last year. Captivating story of burning secrets and buried shame and of the loyalty and love that rises from the ashes. I still dream every night of Polneath on fire. By day, Ivy Boscawen mourns the loss of her son Tim in the Great War. But by night, she mourns another boy, one whose death decades ago haunts her still. For Ivy is sure that there's more to what happened all those years ago. The fire at the Great House and the terrible events that came after. A truth she must uncover if she is ever to be free. Meh, that one doesn't sound that intriguing to me. I think I'm good. Tell me if you've read any of these and you're like, no, you should read it. Charms for the Easy Life. Published 1993, emotional, reflective, slow-paced. It's probably going to be a no. Family Without Men, Green Backwoods of North Carolina. Sophia and her daughter Margaret possess powerful charms to ward off loneliness, despair, and the human misery that often beats a path to their door. They're protected by the eccentric wisdom and muscular love of the remarkable matriarch, Charlie Kate, a solid, uncompromising, self-taught healer. I don't think I want to read that one. On a Night of 1,000 Stars. I feel as though I've seen this cover before. Moving, emotional narrative of love and resilience. A young couple confronts the start of Argentina's dirty war in the 1970s, and a daughter searches for truth 20 years later. Okay, I'm intrigued already. New York, 1998, Santiago Larrea, a wealthy Argentine diplomat, is holding court alongside his wife, Lila, and their daughter, Paloma, a college student and budding jewelry designer, at their annual summer polo match and soiree. All seems perfect in the Larrea's world until an unexpected party guest from Santiago's university days shakes his usually unflappable demeanor. The woman's cryptic comments spark Paloma's curiosity about her father's past, of which she knows little. When the family travels to Buenos Aires for Santiago's UN ambassadorial appointment, Paloma is determined to learn more about his life in the years leading up to the military dictatorship of 1976. Etc., 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 etc. In compelling fashion, On a Night of 1,000 Stars speaks to relationships, morality, and identity during a brutal period in Argentinian history, and the understanding and redemption people crave in the face of tragedy. I am intrigued. Color me intrigued. Let's add that one. Rosemary and Rue by Shauna McGuire. No. Tigana by Guy Gavriel Kay. Nope. I know I don't care about that one. Suitor Armor Season 1. What is this? Comic? graphic novel. Lady-in-waiting Lucia, or Lucia, believes getting through the royal wedding will be the toughest part of her new life. That is until she finds herself falling head over heels with Modius, an up-and-coming knight to the King's Guard. With her newfound interest, she is quickly awakened to the mysteries of the kingdom when she learns Modius is in fact an enchanted suit of armor without a soul. Could there be more to him than just shining armor? Oh, it's like a webtoon? I don't know if I care about that. Gold Spun by Brandy June. Fiction, fantasy. There's no blurb. If Noor can't spin gold, she can always spin lies. When 17-year-old Noor rescues a captured fairy in the woods, he gifts her with a magical golden thread she can use to summon him for a favor. Instead, Noor uses it for a con to convince villagers to buy straw that can be transformed into gold. Her trick works a little too well, attracting the suspicion of Prince Caspar, who hates nobody more than a liar. Intent on punishing Noor, he demands that she spin a room of straw into gold as her reward. He will marry her. Should she refuse or fail, the consequences will be dire. No, I don't care. Ever Fair by Nissi Shawl. Fiction, fantasy, science fiction. Alternate history, historical fantasy, steampunk novel set in the Belgian Congo from a noted short story writer, Nissi Shawl. Ever Fair is a wonderful neo-Victorian alternate history novel that explores the question of what might have come of Belgium's disastrous colonization of the Congo if the native populations had learned about steam technology a bit earlier. Fabian socialists from Great Britain join forces with African-American missionaries to purchase land from the Belgian Congo's owner, King Leopold II. This land, named Ever Fair, is set aside as a safe haven, an imaginary utopia for native populations of the Congo, as well as escaped slaves returning from America and other places where African natives were being mistreated. Shaw's speculative masterpiece manages to turn one of the worst human rights disasters on record into a marvelous and exciting exploration of the possibilities inherent in a turn of history. I am intrigued. I don't always love like science fiction-y type stuff, but alternate history, that sounds really cool. That sounds really, really cool. So let's add this. Tricky Magic by L.L. Campbell, whatever. I don't know. Aaliyah is a witch, a mix of both the respected seers and the feared tricksters. On top of that, she has also spent her whole life in the shadows of her parents' infamous attempted destruction. After Aaliyah's frequent and feared vision of the future shifts into something darker and more terrifying than before, she runs to a town that used to be a haven for her as a child. But things are no longer as they seem. The world of supernaturals is so much more than she thought. And da-da-da-da-da. I don't know if I care about that. She is his fire, he is her chaos. Seems like romancy. I don't know about that one. Yeah. The Ancient Magus. This is Bride, Volume 1. This is manga. I've never read manga. All new manga. Fascinating relationship between a troubled teenage girl and an inhuman wizard. It's got a bunch of reviews. Good ratings. Okay. You know, I don't read manga, but like not... Whoops. I meant to... Oh, I can do it from here. Not like because I don't want to or I have anything against it. I've just never gotten into it. So let's add that one. Bitter Greens by Kate Forsyth. I recognize that name. All historical. Library Journal Best Book of 2014. Amazing power and truth of the Rapunzel fairy tale comes alive for the first time in this breathtaking tale of desire, black magic, and the redemptive power of love. I don't know about this one. The Chilbury Ladies Choir. Readers of Lilac Girls and The Nightingale, the Chilbury Ladies Choir unfolds the struggles, affairs, deceptions, and triumphs of a village choir during World War II. England, the women of Chilbury Village form an uncommon bond. I don't know. It's like World War II, England. I don't know if Might be good. Magic Forged, Hall of Blood and Mercy, number 1 by K.M. Shea. This looks like some maybe paranormal romancy kind of stuff. Oh, I don't like the synopsis already. No, I don't like the synopsis. I'm so sorry. Just how it's written. I don't like how the synopsis was written. Not even what it was, just how it's written. Marie Brennan. Why do I know that name? Why do I know that author? What have I read from this author? Oh, I think I'm, yeah. This one, the Memoirs of Lady Trent. I DNF'd the first one many moons ago. This is historical fantasy. England flourishes under the hand of its virgin queen, Elizabeth Gloriana, last and most powerful of the Tudor monarchs. But a great light casts a great shadow. In hidden catacombs beneath London, a second queen holds court. Invidiana, ruler of fairy England, and a dark mirror to the glory above. In the 30 years since Elizabeth ascended her throne, fey and mortal politics have become inextricably entwined. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Doesn't have a great average rating. But it doesn't have like a shit ton of reviews either. I don't know. I don't really care. Nah. Okay, The Children of Jocasta, historical fantasy, says it's challenging. A dark, elegant novel of two women in ancient Greece based on the great tragedies of Sophocles. Sophocles. Wow. I think I tried to say this before and I can't. Sophocles. That's right? Whatever. I'm done. Thebes is a city in mourning, still reeling from a devastating plague that invaded... Wow, I can't. Thebes is a city in mourning, still reeling from a devastating plague that invaded every home and left the survivors devastated and fearful. This is the Thebes that Jocasta has known her entire life, a city ruled by a king, her husband-to-be. Struggles through this miserable marriage till she's unexpectedly widows. She selects for her new husband the handsome, youthful Oedipus. When whispers emerge of an unbearable scandal, the very society that once lent Jocasta its support seems determined to destroy her. I actually don't know if I care about this. I don't think I care. The Earl and the Fairy, Volume 3. Well, I would have to read Volume 1 and 2, I would think. This looks like manga, though. No. I don't want to start like picking up a bunch of manga when I don't know what I'm going to like yet, I guess, you know? Ruination by Anthony Reynolds. I actually am interested in this, but like I've seen this many places. Like a lot of people have been talking about this. So I'm just going to add it to my TBR, but without putting the Storygraph Rec thing on it, because that's not actually where I heard about it from. A Broken Blade, the Halfling Saga, #1. Fantasy. The cover is expressing young adult. Kira is a killer. As the king's blade, she's the most talented spy in the kingdom and the king's favorite assassin. When a mysterious figure called the Shadow starts making moves against the crown, Kira is forced to hunt the masked menace down. She crosses into the magical lands of the Fae, trying to discern if her enemy is mortal elf or a halfling like her. But the Fae land is not what it seems, and neither is the Shadow. Kira is shocked by what she discovers. Who's the enemy? As she searches for answers, Kira is haunted by a promise she made long ago. A promise not only to save herself, but an entire kingdom. I'm actually intrigued. It's got pretty decent ratings. All the ever afters, I cannot speak. The Untold Story of Cinderella's Stepmother, don't care. Already don't care. Sorry. Oh, Cast in Shadow by Michelle Segarra. I have this down somewhere. So I'm going to mark this as to read, again, without adding it to the Storygraph Rex thing. A Deadly Education. I've seen this all over the place, and I don't have interest in it. Castle Waiting, Volume 1. Graphic novel. What is this? I've never seen this. What is this cover? A Fairy Tale. I don't know. I don't care. The Deep, I also have seen all over the place. I haven't read it yet, but I'm interested in it. Fated, Alex Verus #1 by Benedict Jaka. Fantasy. This looks old. From 2012. I guess not that old. Alex Verus is part of a world hidden in plain sight, running a magic shop in London. And while Alex's own powers aren't as showy as some mages, he does have the advantage of foreseeing the possible future, allowing him to pull off operations that have a 1,000,000 to 1 chance of success. But when Alex is approached by multiple factions to crack open a relic from a long-ago mage war, he knows that whatever's inside must be beyond powerful. And thanks to his abilities, Alex can predict that by taking the job, his odds of survival are about to go from slim to none. Looks shorter, not super high ratings, but I'm intrigued. We'll add it. Cool, and then The Distant Hours by Kate Morton. Historical mystery. Sounds scary. A long-lost letter arrives in the post, and Edie Burchill finds herself on a journey to Milderhurst Castle, a great but moldering old house, where the Blythe spinsters live and where her mother was billeted 50 years before as a 13-year-old child during World War II. The elder Blythe sisters are twins and have spent most of their lives looking after the third and youngest sister, Juniper, who hasn't been the same since her fiancé jilted her in 1941. Inside the decaying castle, Edie begins to unravel her mother's past. Secrets, learn more. Morton once again enthralls readers with an atmospheric story featuring unforgettable character. I don't care. No. Cool. There we go. Going through the current Storygraph Recs I have. Did any of these sound intriguing to you as well, or have you read any of these? If you have, obviously don't give spoilers or anything, but did you like them and do you think I would like them? Let me know in the comments below. Or of course, just leave an emoji if you want to say hi and make your presence known, but you don't really have anything to add. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.